So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Cyberhawk Security Live session. In this, I'm going to tell you about phishing attacks and how they are increasing in the recent times during this coronavirus pandemic. I'm Urvis Thakkar, and I'm from Cyberhawk, and I will guide you through this live session, and I hope that you will enjoy this and learn a lot out from it. Okay, so before that, I would just like to mention my years of experience. So basically, I'm a cybersecurity researcher, and I have been working into cybersecurity field since almost 4 to 5 years now. So I'm quite old into this field, and I know ups and downs in this. So this session will all be about phishing attacks. So I'll tell you about what is phishing attack and how they are dangerous and why they are the most common ones used by the hackers. So without any further delay, let's get started into this live session. Before actually showing you some interesting demonstrations, I would like to elaborate more about the theoretical part of phishing. So phishing is nothing but it is type of an social engineering attack. Okay, so where it is often used to steal user data such as credentials, login emails and password, credit card numbers, and etc. stuff. It simply means a hacker trying to steal, sensitive or confidential information from your side. So use of social engineering in an efficient way is done via hackers in order to increase the efficiency of these attacks. Now, very soon in this live, I will tell you what exactly do we mean by social engineering attacks. If you study a recent survey that I had conducted, it is available everywhere in the internet. So that survey says that phishing are evolved in accuracy and objectives these days. So as the technology is increasing, the accuracy and the destruction level of phishing attacks is also increasing as the measure of the credentials are taken using phishing. So it is the most common and the recent attack that have been evolved in the recent digital era. And of course, with increasing this digital era, these phishing attacks are becoming more and more powerful, more and more dangerous, and more hard to and difficult to detect. Okay, a recent survey illustrates that there is a rapid increase in phishing attacks with a rise of almost 67% in the year 2020. I mean this year. Now you yourself may ask your question that why there is this much of increase in this attack, right? So basically, as there is coronavirus pandemic going on through in the entire world, and we all are praying our best so we can recover as soon as possible. But at the same time, due to this lockdown stage and everything, people have started using technology more. Work from home from their own laptops, usage of internet more. Due to which WhatsApp also limits now the status to be kept as 15 seconds rather than 30 seconds due to internet usage is very high along the globe. Okay, so this is what hackers have focused on. Okay, using this point, they have started attacking people more and more via phishing attacks. So, wherein a person used to work in a company and he was in its organization, with limited resources, being safe. Now, people are working as per their own convenience, checking out their own emails and whatnot. So, this is an awesome chance for hackers, where hackers are evolving their techniques, and this is why there is a reason that 67% has been increased in this year for phishing attacks. Now let us understand about some common trends of phishing attacks. Although phishing attacks are most evolved among all other cyber threats, they include a wide range of attack vectors. Still, there are some common phishing vectors that are used by the hackers. So, although there are wide range, these phishing attacks are not limited to a certain scope. they are evolving and evolving, and there are thousands of phishing types of attacks, and hacker can do a phishing attack. Okay, but out of these, the most common ones are email phishing. Okay, wherein these are the some common ones where you may know about this kind of attacks. So phishing attacks are the following, I have some following ways where they are segregated into. So email phishing, when you receive an phishing link on your email, so it is known as email phishing, right? Also wishing, when somebody calls you via spoofing, is known as the wishing attack. Okay, then you may know about smishing, and when you receive link via SMS, it's known as smishing attacks. And whaling, so a recent survey was done on whaling attacks as well, wherein whaling attack is when a public figure is attacked. Okay, so when a huge celebrity is at times targeted, this is known as a whaling attack. When celebrities like Amitabh Bachchan was recently hacked via Twitter, so it is known as a whaling attack, right? Now what we will see in this today's session, okay, so we will understand about how phishing works, common phishing vectors, advanced phishing vectors, persistent phishing attacks, social engineering concept, and involvement of social engineering in phishing attacks. So these are some of the methods and concepts that we are going to see. Before that, I would like to also showcase you that the most common ones that you may have seen in your daily life, that how phishing works. So if you all are aware of, you may get this that kind of links wherein you people say you that share this link, there is a spin a wheel, you just have to spin that wheel and you will win an iPad and a gaming PSP or Adidas shoes. It says Nike has completed or Adidas has completed 100 years, and in this there there is a work anniversary, and they are giving out free shoes. Just have to spin it out, and they are giving it only only in 1 rupees and something. Okay, so this is what it looks, this is what how it looks. So you all might be aware of all these things, right? Wherein an hacker sends this kind of links to you, and wherein it says, okay, you just have to spin the wheel, and you have to carry out this kind of tricks and share it to the WhatsApp group or something. Okay, so these are the some of the common ones that are being evolved right now, and you all might be aware of it, that these are the most common ones, you may have seen it. Also, one more thing that I would like to showcase you guys on my screen, basically. So this is a recent phishing method that is being used by hackers these days, especially during the corona pandemic. So what these hackers do is, they send this kind of emails to their targets, saying that this email address, they are found on some XYZ website, maybe a adult website, and you have seen that videos, that kind of videos, and we have captured your camera, you were self abused, and we have inserted keyloggers everywhere in your system. So now if you want to be safe, and if you want that we should not leak out these things to anybody, then this is a Bitcoin address, and make a payment on this Bitcoin address, and whatever amount they ask, and then we can offer you that this things stays confidential between you and me. So this email threat have increased so much during the corona pandemic, that people are being threatened every now and then receiving this kind of emails, wherein law enforcement agencies report says that in the recent survey, this kind of emails are being observed at least 20 to 30 times in one day. So in one day, if you consider any locality, so a complaint comes of minimum 20 to 30 people of this kind of emails. So you know so this is what hackers are doing these days, and people are not understanding the logic behind it, right? So now let us sum up with some demonstrations. Okay, now you all might have seen different kinds of phishing attacks, or you all might be aware of these kind of common ones. But what if I'll actually show you live phishing attacks, wherein I'll tell you that how this methodology works, how this phishing works? It would be more interesting. So let's get started with this. So let us understand about how phishing works first of all. So any hacker sending any link to you via WhatsApp, via social media, via email address or something, it will be first, redirected to that phishing page. First of all, so it is known as, it is a kind of man in the middle attack, wherein the a fake page is created of any particular website, for example Facebook itself. So fake page of Facebook is created, and that hacker sends that fake page of Facebook, and it is not the actual page, it is an a duplicate page hosted by the attacker, and the complete access over that page is to the attacker. It has no concern with Facebook at all. Okay, so whenever you log in this kind of URLs or websites, and whenever you visit this kind of websites and enter your confidential information, it is directly sended, the information in direct plain text is sended to the attacker, and Facebook is at all not concerned with it. Okay, so even there is a phishing attack and you blame Facebook for it, so Facebook won't charge any responsibility on itself. It will say it is your responsibility. So as I already told you about some common phishing vectors, okay, so these are the common ones. And now let us understand about the advanced phishing ones. What are these kind of advanced phishing attacks? Okay, so generally people do this kind of advanced phishing attacks when they want to hack somebody, or attackers do it when they want to capture some credentials or something. So these kind of people just use these attacks directly to hack into people Facebook accounts, you may say, or people's Instagram accounts, people's whatnot. You just list out there, and these kind of options are available for hackers throughout their entire time, and this is how hackers directly capture your credentials. So these kind of phishing attacks are the most common ones, but if they are not focused, they can cause a huge amount of lethal destruction, or huge amount of sensitive information to be leaked, which is that we don't want at all. So now consider this URL over here. Okay, so this is nothing but a common phishing page. So what an hacker does is, for example, now you will say, okay, it doesn't look like Facebook. But then what hackers do? This is kind of a new phishing attacks. That's why we have included and we have written over here advanced phishing. Traditionally phishing attacks were very common. When you click on the link of Facebook, Facebook page used to show up directly, without anything, and it was too buggy, too laggy. Anybody could make out, it is kind of a fake, it is not original. Okay, but then as I already told you, phishing attacks have been evolving with time. Okay, so this is kind of a link that a hacker may send you, or a friend of yours on social media may send you, and that too being unintentional. So imagine this kind of links shared by some of your friends or family members, and then whose fault it is? Will you consider their fault or whose? Because they too are unaware of it, right? So this is nothing but a poll. So a hacker may use this kind of social engineering technique. Now, wherein social engineering technique is what makes phishing more destructive. Okay, so an attacker has to craft the phishing attack in such a way that maximum number of people can click on it and can submit their information. This is what an social engineering attack means, wherein a hacker is trying to play with and manipulate with the target's mind and the target's mindset regarding technology and this link. Something fascinating, something interesting, something which is important. Now assume this message, a message is sent by an hacker and saying, okay, so we are voting for corona pandemic, and we are offering free mask to the needy people, and if you are into this initiative, you just visit this URL, and you have to put your vote over here, right? So it will ask you for your name. Now if somebody writes like this, okay, so let us consider XYZ itself. Now if somebody writes on your WhatsApp that this is an corona pandemic campaign, and we are providing free mask and everything, you need to vote on it. So this is what is called as a social engineering attack, where a hacker is crafting a certain amount of thinking, critical level thinking, that okay, if this kind of message is created, then the user will 110% visit it and click on it. So this is a kind of a phishing attack. Now it will ask for certain things. So it will ask what is your favorite social networks, and select your favorite colors. Okay, so I'll click submit over here. Now it is asking you, you are this is the voter rank, and in order to complete the poll, you have to sign in via Facebook. Now imagine this is the original credentials submitted by a normal person. Okay, consider you yourself in this place, and you are submitting these details, and this is your original Facebook email ID and password, and you're thinking, oh, I'll vote for the corona pandemic, okay, and I'll make sure that each and every person is getting a mask. Now if we click on login, so it will success poll successfully completed, and this looks very 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 legitimate, right? There is nothing to doubt in it. Any common person cannot make out the difference. It thinks, okay, wow, the poll is completed. But when you see in the backend, the hacker can grab the IP address of the target machine, if you can see over here, and it can also find out the account and the password. So basically this is the email and this is the password. So this is how phishing attacks are being evolved again and again and again with time. So these are known as the advanced phishing techniques that hackers follow these days, and this is why we need to be very safe from this kind of phishing attacks, right? Now coming to the next point, wherein I'll tell you about persistent phishing attacks. Okay, so what are these persistent phishing attacks, and how are these connected with social engineering? So these persistent phishing attacks are those ones which stay for a longer time, which are meant to be spread among a huge group of people. Now the attack which I showcased to you, it's not permanent. Hackers need to use certain methodologies to make it permanent. So in order to make it more and more convenient for hacker and more widespread to others, so hackers use this kind of persistent method. So wherein hackers use this persistent method and make the page more and more active for a longer period of time. Now consider this link which I showcased to you, or this kind of phishing which I showcased just right now. And hacker cannot wait for everybody, right? Maybe some people will see that link after a few days, maybe some people will see it a bit late after 3-4 hours. So hacker cannot just sit for 3-4 hours in front of the screen and just wait. Of course he hacker can do like that things, but then hackers are more smart and they come out with other techniques as well. So they came up with persistent phishing attacks, wherein these kind of phishings are the most dangerous one. Why? Because whenever these kind of links are shared, these links are active 24 by 7. They do not expire at all. Okay, and they are all time active, and a hacker can send this link to any group and just sit comfortably, wait for 2 days, 10 days, 15 days, and how many people clicking that link and submitting their username and password, the hacker can live monitor it whenever the hacker wants to. Okay, so it is permanent. That is why it is known as persistent. It stays for a longer period of time. So these are the persistent attacks. Okay, so let us see a demonstration of persistent attacks. Now consider this kind of, okay, consider LinkedIn links. Okay, so this is a LinkedIn page. Okay, now this kind of pages, this is known as a persistent phishing. They require less internet connection, they require very minimal amount of internet, and they are active all the time, right? So hacker does not need to wait for any attacker to, or any target to wait. Okay, so in this kind of phishing tricks, hacker is like a more clever kind of a person, wherein he wants a person or a target to be attacked in a more group of numbers, because the more he attacks more people, it will be more easy for him to grab more credentials. Now this website requires very less internet connection, and it loads in mobile as well as desktop, as well as in computers, as well as in iPhones, right? So it is very easy for them. Now consider these are your original email and the password, and you logged in, and this page, if you see, looks entirely similar as LinkedIn. Nobody can make out a difference. And if you click on sign in, so it will redirect you to some other page. Not necessary every time it should redirect, but if you see from the hacker's perspective, okay, the hacker can see everything that whatever you had submitted over here. If you see on the targets, the username and the password, along with from which website it was taken, right? All this information is with the hacker, and this is not something a hacker needs to be active all the time. The hacker can send these kind of links once, and even after 15-20 days the link is active all the time and the hacker gets the username and the passwords continuously. So these are the persistent phishing attacks. Now we will understand involvement of social engineering in phishing attacks. I already explained you the social engineering concept. Now let us see how hackers implement this social engineering in phishing attacks, and I'll show you some live demos. Okay, now these kind of attacks are very dangerous and very clever attacks where hackers directly target you via your relatives or something. Okay, wherein the hacker does not come in consideration directly. You are being fooled by somebody from your own circle. That is, it is known as social engineering. A hacker wants his identity to be hidden. And see, if you receive some link from a person that you know or from a group that you are in already, then the chances that you will click on that link will increase eventually, right? That is the reason why hackers choose this kind of attacks. And using this kind of attacks, hackers steal not only username and password but can steal something more than that you think. Now consider that it is a festival of Diwali, and you generally get all this kind of things on Diwali. Click on this link and somebody is trying to wish you. For example, your friend sends you, okay, hello and hello ABC, and I'm trying to wish you a happy Diwali, and you need to come out over here and just say, you need to click on that link, submit your username or your name and everything, and the happy Diwali message will be shown to you directly. So these kind of links are generally chosen by hackers just for the purpose of stealing your photos. Okay, now not only phishing attacks steals what you say username and passwords, but it can at the same time also steal your photographs. It doesn't matter that you are using a phone or you are using something else or you are using your desktop. Now let us see this link. Okay, now these kind of links are most common ones that you find across during Diwalis, during New Year's, right? And for example, once you open this kind of link, it says you, okay, now please enter your name. Now assume this link sent by you, okay, wherein people say you, okay, I'm wishing you happy Diwali or happy New Year. If you see this is happy New Year, enter your name, right? So I'll write ABC. Okay, and once you click OK, the next thing it will ask you directly is for your camera permission. Now imagine this link you have opened in your mobile. It is a very small screen, and a huge pop-up comes in front of you, enter your name, and you click on name and click on OK, and with unintentionally you also click on allow the camera, especially for those who are new to this technology, those who are not the young generation. So your relatives and all that, right? So they generally fall into this kind of phishing attacks. Once you click on allow, you think that you are safe, nothing has happened, okay, but then meanwhile once you scroll this website, the hacker is doing nothing, but the hacker is stealing your photographs. If you can see over here, then I'll show you how hackers manipulate these things out just in order to trick you and capture your sensitive information, right? So not only passwords, not only usernames, not only you know see over here, so it has captured one snap. So in this way hackers hack things, and moreover in this way hackers does phishing attacks. Now the one last but not the least demonstration that I would like to showcase to you is one more concept of powerful vectors in phishing, which involves social engineering, and it is one of the most powerful vector. Now if you were on the screen and if you saw everything till now, you may ask yourself a question till now that, okay, these are the phishing attacks, but one thing is in common, that the URL is not accurate. Although the hackers can make that URL exactly similar to the original one, but still always there are some or the other issues in the URL, because the URL cannot be exactly the same because it is already registered, right? So hackers are more smart, and then they came up with alternate solution, right? If URL is the concern, then hackers thought, okay, why not to hide the URL itself and create phishing. Now if you are active on other groups and if you are active on the digital age, So there are always links and everything that may come to you, that there is a Netflix mod APK, there is an Instagram followers APK, wherein if you install this app, then you will get free Instagram followers, you will get free Netflix videos to watch, right? Netflix plus, then Insta followers plus, FB followers plus. See, generally if there is a malware in that application, most of the time the Google Play Protect may detect it. Of course there are ways to bypass it also, but then when hackers want to conduct phishing in a very efficient way without even you knowing, right? And antivirus also cannot detect this kind of phishing because it is a normal virus free application, right? So these are normal virus free applications, so there is no virus in it. Their size is almost around 7 to 10 megabytes, so very small size, very easy to download. It takes a less amount of time to install. Now assume that you have got a link that there is an application known as FB followers plus, sent it by somebody from your friends on the group, right? And they say if you download this application, it will increase your Facebook followers, it will increase your Facebook likes. And then in excitement, in the crave of new followers and likes, you download that application. But consider this is my Android phone, right? This is my Android phone over here, as it is a normal Android phone, as an Android tablet. Okay, so I've installed this FB followers plus application in my Android device. Now I want free followers, right? So I've installed this. Click over this. See, this is a phishing attack. I'll tell you how. This will load this kind of Facebook page. Okay, it looks entirely similar to Facebook. Nobody can make out a difference. Moreover, this warning, security warning over here, makes it more legitimate looking and scary so that the user may log in. Now this application executed in any Android device, does not show the link, the URL of this page anywhere. Basically, this is nothing. This is just an application that is executing a phishing web page in the application. So this app is nothing. It is just made to load and show a URL. But then as it is in the form of an application, so it is not showing you the URL, but actually it is the phishing URL, phishing page itself loaded in the form of an application. So okay, now Facebook followers, but before generating the Facebook followers, I need to log in over here. So you will log in over here. Okay, I'll get free followers. Once you click on login, nothing will happen. You will be redirected to some other site, right? But then if you see in the backend, the hacker has got all your credentials. Now consider these kind of apps when shared in public. See over here, the username and the password is being shared. So these are some of the advanced phishing vectors that are done by hackers these days. So phishing is something more than you think. Phishing is something that you don't know. If you know about URL, but URL is nothing. It's just a part of phishing. Hackers are so clever and smart that they're using this kind of phishing tricks every now and then. And these are some of the advanced, and there are some of the extra advanced, more brilliant tricks with hackers where they execute phishing in the real time, right? So let us come to the awareness point. I will very quickly cover the awareness point and then I'll end this live stream over here. So the very first point that you need to know is filter the email for phishing threat. Okay, you should filter out the phishing emails. Generally phishing are spread via emails, right? And keep all the systems with antivirus and all that, whatever you have, up to date. Although it can be bypassed, but still you have to be updated with your security, with your, even if you don't have an antivirus in your mobile device, but they keep your mobile device up to date with the software update and the security patches. Okay, also keep your antiviruses up to date in your Windows, never disable them. Now this is a very common one that you can observe. Okay, so if a phishing attack is conducted and they are the kind of scammers which are less knowledgeable, so 90% of the time it is observed that phishing pages contain grammar errors and punctuations, grammar and punctuation errors, wherein the recent phishing trend was the government is giving out free laptops and everything. But once you visit that page, you will find out the spellings and error is being misspelled. If you scroll down over there, then you will find out, okay, it is not the accurate one. Also make sure, is the page asking for any personal information? Is the email containing any suspicious link asking for any personal information? If no, then only visit it. If it is asking, then don't visit it. Then also check for alarming content full of warnings and potential consequences. Now, what are these alarming warnings? These kind of warnings that are spreaded. These are kind of alarming warnings, and also there are some warnings, where you get an emails. Okay, you are hacked, and your Facebook account is compromised. So change your Facebook password and everything. Don't click on that links. Okay, avoid using public networks because it may generate this kind of links on your mobile phones and install this kind of applications unintentionally, and then you may be at a toss of compromising your username and passwords. Watch out for shortened links. There are short links such as tiny url, url.cc, okay, bit.ly, bitly. All these are the short URLs. So URL shorteners are generally used by phishing attackers to because they have a large phishing URL and they want to make it look more legitimate. So these kind of attacks are used by hackers, URL shortening method. So you should always look out for that one. Let me tell you about some common extensions. Although these are not 100% safe, you can install the Netcraft anti-phishing extension in your Chrome browser in the Chrome store. Now these are not 100% accurate. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have this extension and you are free from phishing, but then it gives you an additional security, it gives you an additional protection, it gives you the details of the website that you are visiting, right? So you are more aware, and if it is a phishing website, then it might alert you, right? Also, there is an phishing extension known as the Zelda anti-phishing unit. Okay, so Zelda anti-phishing extension is one of those extension provided on the Chrome store, which you can install over here. I've installed over here. So these are the common things that you could follow. Like, these are not the 100% accurate ones. Then also, if your mobile number is of Geo, if you are residing in India and if your mobile number is of Geo, then Geo also provides Geo security application on the mobile devices, which I found can detect phishing also. But it is not 110% accurate. It can be easily bypassed, but then it just adds up an extra security layer to it. Last but not the least point that I would like to highlight in awareness is the user education. Just because the more you are educated, the more you are aware, then a phishing attack cannot attack you. These are the some of the common things that you can follow, but then each and every day there are new things coming up by the minds of an hacker and an attacker, right? So we never know what the black guys do every time and what they think. So your awareness is important, and I would like to also illustrate and debate on that thing, impact. I need to pressure on that thing, that not only your self awareness is important, but tomorrow if you are becoming aware of these kind of things, make sure that you make others also aware of this. Share it with others, share this knowledge with others, make them aware. This is how mouth to mouth publicity is done, and people will become more aware, the society will become more aware. This is what the intention of Cyberhawk security is, to make awareness among the society. And if you are aware, then nobody can attack you directly using this kind of tricks, because you are self aware of all these things. In short, also, once this live is ended, make sure you share it with others, because the more you share it with others, the people will become more and more aware about it. The more and more people become aware, the more and more they will be safe, right? So I would conclude the live session over here, and I would like to say you stay safe, stay alert, okay, stay at home these days, and never fall for this kind of phishing attacks. Thank you.